different story. That's
And he wasn't really
acceptable.
dependent. I mean, he wasn't really dependent.
Well, I
He
mean,
just didn't use his
expecting you
money
or whatever.
wisely. Exactly. He was comfortable with me buying stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, the thing is, he knew I could.
Yeah.
You know, and so he was just very comfortable. And he was a lot older than me. And I'm like, you know, you need
Really?
to get your. Yes, he was not a lot older, but I was at the time I wasn't 40 yet, so I was 39,
Uh-huh.
and he was probably maybe 47, 48.
Oh my God! Wow, that's
Get your
pretty.
life together.
Well, see, that's a different thing, though. I think it's perfectly acceptable to not date somebody because of that reason. Because if you were, especially if the two of you are in two different places financially, it really makes it difficult to really mesh and make it fair. Unless you have an understanding where one of you wants to take care of the other person financially or whatever, that's fine. But if that's not what you want, then it doesn't make sense to be with someone like that, obviously.
No, I'm not a sugar daddy.
Right.
Mm-mm.
And then the third thing is, okay, so you said you won't date a top. Is that because you're a bottom? I mean, you won't date a top.
What?
I mean, because you're a top, or is that because you just don't like? What's the deal with that?
I can't believe I'm saying this. Yeah, I'm a top.
Okay, well, I figured
Yeah.
because you wouldn't date other tops. That's what I meant. Yeah.
No, I don't play that game. Mm-mm.
Okay.
But
Wait. Let me ask you though. So is that because you have had sex that way before, didn't like it, or because you've never tried it and don't want to?
I can count on one hand how many times I've done it.
And have you done? You've enjoyed it? Is that it?
No.
Not
No.
enjoying it. Okay, so you're just a top. That's
Mm-mm.
cool. Okay, fine. That's fine. Well, the thing I have a problem with people like a lot of gay guys, not a lot, but some gay guys who say they're just tops have never actually tried to be a bottom before, or they think it makes them less of a man, or that kind of stuff. And so, as long as that's not the reason, it's just because you
Oh
enjoy
no,
it. Okay.
no, mm-mm. And I have a very low tolerance for pain. You know what I'm talking about. I don't got time for that. Like sweet Brown would say, I don't got time. Nobody got time for that.
Okay. So you need to find somebody then for yourself that is a bottom, definitely.
Well, at least versatile, but
Well,
with
the thing about
with
versatile
understanding
is,
that I'm not doing that.
The thing about that's why I said to say you don't need somebody versatile because somebody versatile is going to want to do it both ways sometimes. You're not going to want to just
Not
be a
with
bottom.
me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you need to find somebody who's a bottom only, or a versatile person who never wants to ever top. That's the only way you can do with it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
But that limits your. I mean, that limits your. But you should be in Dallas because it's like a bottom city in Dallas. Jesus Christ! All the
You know,
people
they
here are
said that
bottoms.
about Atlanta. They said when a tornado rolls through Atlanta, all you hear is ooh. Because all the bottoms. I didn't find it to be true. My thing with Atlanta, it was so many men that were on the down low, and I don't want to say this on your show.
Okay.
I have found, and you can correct me if I'm sure you might have something different, but the married men that I've been with, they're all big bottoms. It's amazing to me. I'm like, really?
You mean married to women, or you mean married to women?
Married to women, yeah.
That's
I'm like,
typical.
serious?
Well, that's typical because as they typically are bottoms because they usually are repressed sexually and they haven't been able to express themselves that way. And so they have sex with their wives occasionally probably. And that kind of satiates the top thing. But the bottom thing is what they want. They want to be penetrated and they want to be, that's what they want. That's so that doesn't surprise me at all.
I had never had experience. Not that I was looking to be a bottom or anything. It was how quick they were like, okay, this is what we're going to. I'm like, really? Okay. Atlanta changed me in so many ways. I have never been to a club where the first time I went to, there's a club called The Heretic in Atlanta. I was so naive coming from the Midwest going there, and my friend pushes me in this room. And he says, look in there. I'm like, I'm looking. I said, what's going on? So the right side of me, I tell the story to all my friends, the right side of me, I see a pool table with light. And then all of a sudden I hear all these sounds coming out of my left ear. I'm like, what is going on? And then remember when they had flashlights on phones?
Yeah.
I had a flashlight on my cell phone. And so I pushed the button and all I see was a sea of bodies and a sea of naked people. And I ran for the door.
Atlanta?
Oh, they act a fool in Atlanta. I mean, a fool. It's called The Heretic, and it's a mess. It's fun.
So it's like is it a bar or is it like a bathhouse or something?
It's a bar.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a bar, and
Wow.
yeah.
And that's legal
Yeah.
there?
No, no, it's not. It was tolerated, but it totally was illegal. I don't know. Remember a couple of years ago, the Atlanta Eagle was raided because somebody was in there saying that people were having sex inside the club.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Atlanta Eagle got mad because no, we're not. My thing is, yes, you are. I've seen people do it in here. So stop playing, but the police acted really poorly. And they got they sued from the city of Atlanta, got millions of dollars. It was crazy. I wish I was there that night.
You really get some money, right?
I would have got some money because they all get paid very well
Oh my
from the city of Atlanta.
No, they have places like that here in Dallas. I've never ever personally been. I've never been to a bathhouse. I've never been to a sex club. I'm much too. For me, sex is a one-on-one thing. I have had three-ways before in my past. I have, but for me, sex is a much more of a one-on-one thing experience. I don't like to share I don't want to be on display when I'm doing it. I don't want a camera in front of me. I don't want anybody else to be there but me and the other person. So I have no interest in that way. But they do have places here that are like that, and they're like you said, they're tolerated, but they're known to have sex, in the back or whatever, and. But I don't ever see that in straight clubs. I mean, I'm sure they exist.
Well, I'm sure people maybe sneak to the bathroom and do something, but you don't. As a general rule, you're not going to go to a back room of a straight club and see that going on.
No,
it's just not going to happen.
No. But you know what? That's the difference, though. That's the difference between a man and a woman. Because with a straight club, the equation includes a woman, and a woman is not going to have that most of the time. And a man, two men together, they're just their dicks are hard, they're horny, they want to go have sex, so they go do it.
It's just testosterone flowing all over the place.
Yes. So I mean, there is a difference between men and women, obviously, and that's one of them. I think, and I've always said to people, that's the reason. Gay men have a really bad reputation, or a reputation from people who don't know a lot of gay men, that all gay men are promiscuous and have sex all the time and with anybody, anywhere, whatever. And that's not true at all.
No, not at all.
There are those that exist in the gay community, just like there are men and women in the heterosexual community who are sluts or whatever, and that's fine. And I have no judgment on anybody who has tons of sex. That's their life, their body. Do what you want with it. That's you deal with the consequences if there are any. That's your life. But I think that that's the difference, though. Or people forget that's why one of the reasons why gay men have always had such a higher or been viewed as being more promiscuous than other people as a group as a whole, because gay men is two men together. Okay, it's two men together. So you have those two sex drives, unlike with two women, two lesbians who eventually have no sex at all usually, and then you have heterosexual couples which have sex for a while and then eventually that wanes off. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen in the gay community too, but I'm just saying as a whole, gay men, two men together, you're going to have obviously more a sexualized culture than you would with a woman involved. So that makes sense to me. Wow. Interesting. Well, I think that, for me that when I was growing up, I mean, when I came out and everything, I never really had any kind of hang-ups about sex at all. I've always been really, I don't know, open about sex. I've never had I didn't come from a highly, what's the word I'm looking for? Liberal household on sex. My mom wasn't exactly some hippie or anything, and I definitely grew up around puritanical values and biblical values and all that kind of stuff. And so I certainly I've never been a slut necessarily. I've never been a prude either. And I remember my best friends, I guess who shall remain nameless, when he's not my friend anymore, but we went to high school together, and then we went to, when I was in college, we were still friends. He didn't go to college. And then when I was out of college, we were friends. We were roommates for a while as well. And anyway, he would sleep with somebody different almost every night. I mean, he would go to the bars and he would sleep with somebody else almost every night. And I'm like, oh my God. And he thought I was weird for not sleeping with everybody all the time or going to the bars all the time or whatever. And so I asked him once, probably by the time I was about 23 or something, we were friends till I was 28. And I said, how many people have you slept with? And he said 3,000 something. Yes, 3,000 something. Are you fucking kidding me? I said. He's like, no. So he sat there and kind of added it up in his head, He's like, no, about 3,000. I was like, and are you positive? Because I never talked to you about that before. He's like, no, I'm not. I'm like, so you're safe all the time? He's like, no. I'm like, oh my God.
Wow.
So I couldn't believe that somebody had sex with 3,000 people at 22 years old. I was like, oh my God. And
Wow.
I thought my number was high by then, which it wasn't anywhere. It wasn't even the triple digits yet. Okay. By that point. So I was like, no, I was like, don't call me a slut because you are the slut of the year. Oh my God. Anyway. So I feel like people who sleep around that much though, gay, straight, whatever, are really looking for something, like validation or just to fulfill their the void, I guess, which is probably a bad choice of words, but to fill the void in their soul or something. Because I don't understand why somebody would sleep with 3,000 people by the time they're 22 unless they're looking for something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, something's definitely missing
Right.
in their lives. Yeah, no, I'm I'll be 42. Even though you see my post the other day where I was saying I'm gonna be 39.
Yeah, I was like, what? I was like, what?
I do that to mess with everybody. 42, and I don't think I've even made it in the triple digits yet. And I'm 42, but I came out later in life. I didn't come out until I was like 20, 26, 27. And when I started going out, and I've definitely had my moments. I had like two coming outs. Of course, I came out when I was 20 in my late 20s. But then when I moved to Atlanta, it was a whole new world for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a coming out party, so to speak, again when I went there. I've had my fun, but nothing too crazy.
Well, yeah.
I'm very prudish when it comes to sex. Anyhow, I can be very. Oh my God. Oh my God!
I find you someone who would be very picky and very, no, we're not doing it that way. We're doing it this way, and no, let's turn the lights off. And I don't know. I just don't see you being somebody who would be real uninhibited sexually.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not uninhibited boy. I'm very And thing is, oh my God, I'm such a bad person. And if I smell something wrong,
oh God.
I'm done. Okay.
Tell them to go wash up or something. For God's sakes, everybody has days.
It could be anything. It could be something, and not even that.
Oh.
It could be anything, and I'm like, something ain't right. I got to go. All right, I'm done. That's why I'm single.
Yes, it is. That's exactly why you're single.
And I'm not I don't have any oral fixations. Mm-hmm. I ain't doing that. Mm-mm.
Oh, so you don't perform oral sex on a man at all?
Very rarely.
What? Okay, wait, stop. You are a homosexual, right? Are you sure you're gay?
I'm pretty positive.
Okay, so you're gay, but what is it about a man that makes you attracted to him? It's so when you see a man, you're thinking about topping him. You're not thinking about sucking his dick or anything else.
Pretty much.
Okay, so that's fine. That's cool.
In my mind, I'm like, I'll tear that up. In my mind,
yeah, yeah. I got you. But I think that almost every gay man I've ever known has had a desire to suck a dick. I'm sorry, I just think it's really weird. It's interesting to me that you have no interest in that.
I'm not saying that I have it. It's not something that I go for. And I've had partners before that. They're so more. I ain't even going there. That's something they don't require. So that works for me.
Yeah, I was about to say that I've known in the past, when I was single and stuff, only a couple, but of bottoms that I was dating. And I'm, by the way, just for the record, versatile. I said that earlier, I think. So it depends on who I'm with. But I had a couple bottoms I was dating when I was younger, and I remember a couple of them did not want me to do anything with their penis at all, or even touch it like they didn't have it. I'm like, well, that's weird. So that was one of my turnoffs, because to me, being gay when you're having gay sex or whatever, I mean, part of it is the penis between the two people, not just, I don't want to have sex with a woman, and so I don't want to not play with her penis or suck it or anything else. I want to use it. I mean, it's what it's there for, so I use it. So
I like looking at it. And I want my person to have a nice one so they don't have any insecurity issues, but I'm not doing all that. Get the thing out of my face.
So you didn't even hold on to it or anything? You just...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
I don't like stuff in my... This is the kicker, and I'm going to end this conversation. I don't kiss.
Okay, stop. Now we have to talk. Whoa, stop. First of all, this is going to have to be a gay mash show, because this is not good. This is not appropriate conversation for Brain Purge, by the way. So I'm going to have to change the title of the show. But anyway, okay, wait. Okay. Now, before I say what I want to say. You tell me why you don't kiss.
Okay, I'm not gonna say I don't like kissing.